So what we actually have in front of us are 4 sets of main levers, and we'll just look at them briefly. This is a Howe Supercast. This is probably one of the beefier levers, main levers that you'll see. This is obviously fulcrum stand. This is the main lever itself. These are the bosses that we're talking about. This is where you'd put your lever on to make sure that this lever is level. You can see that the 3-inch balls and the girder chair, upper bearing plate, center connection. One of the things I do want to show just a little bit. One of the things that's a little bit different in this type of scale is the way the thrust is actually done. I am going to take these balls out of here and put them in the upper bearing plate. This scale is, whereas all of the rest of these other scales within their suspension will have friction plates that would limit the side travel, this device actually has I'm just going to show this and then I'm going to turn it over. This pivot right here is made, this side is flush, but when we take this and turn it up, I'm going to try to turn it so that you can get a good shot of it. You will see that. Can you see that the way that this bearing is made right here is it's basically taper. The taper is designed to go to the inside so that the point of contact is right here on this pivot line. And what that does for us is, we fully expect contact there, but this gives us the smallest amount of unavoidable friction. That amount of contact, contact right there we're going to have a very, very small amount of friction compared to, for instance, somebody putting this bearing in backwards and the flat side, the complete other side being slid up against this friction plate right here. That would give us a lot of what we would call avoidable friction. So this is that's the thrust, this is the thrust for the girder chair. And this is basically, you can see and feel how much thrust or freedom of movement this main lever would have in the fulcrum stand. That's a Howe Supercast lever. These 2 middle levers are Toledo levers. This is a pretty beefy lever in itself. This is a Toledo cast lever, and obviously all of the rest of these have parallel link suspension. This is the girder chair for the Toledo cast system. You'll see parallel links, upper and lower trunnion. Very, very similar. The tip pivots for the main lever for the cast, and this is the Toledo steel lever. These parts are very, very similar. Again, girder chair, parallel links, upper and lower trunnion. You can actually see the leveling bosses. They're actually made inside so they won't get bruised and knocked off of the steel lever. Tip pivots. This is the Fairbanks. There is a part number right on the device right here. There's a multiple right on this main lever that tells us this is a 6-to-1 main lever. There are leveling bosses on the other side. And I'm going to take just a minute and pull this suspension apart on a good day. This is a girder chair. A couple of parallel links. Lower trunnion. and the butterfly. This is a conversion to a new style. You may have an old fulcrum stand, but there have been a couple of changeovers in this bearing that fits on the fulcrum stand, and these frictions will actually what allow the thrust so that this main lever can have freedom of movement between the pivot and the bearing.